Traders, what an eventful week that we just had. That definitely confirmed the adjustments that I've previously spoken about and employed to be right on the money. So I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit further, and I'm also obviously going to be sharing my top ideas for the week ahead, focusing on my precise trade plans, the setups that I really do think could make significant directional moves in the upcoming week. Now, just before I do that, just before I get into those exact setups, I want to briefly recap the action from last week and the action and the plans that I shared from last week's watch list. Um, I was focusing predominantly on the short side, and that paid off last week. Obviously, with some exceptions to more defensive sectors, to some in-play sectors like the energy sector. But the ACB, the CADL short played out. If we look at CADL to the plan here, we got the pop into potential overhead supply in the beginning of the week, and from there we had a really great multi-day swing short opportunity into targets. ACB, as I had mentioned as well, was likely to have some sideways action, but looking for a repeat of Friday's action where you got to push and fail into overhead supply. We got a repeat of that on Monday, where we got a push into overhead supply. We got a lower high confirmation versus the previous lower high, and then from there we got a nice sell-off, multi-day sell-off into support and a target zone for a swing short, and now we continue to consolidate sideways, digest the move, and remains to be seen. These were two really good, straightforward textbook setups for a lower high short on the swing side, and so I do urge you to go back and study them and compare them with my original thoughts from last week's watch list to really understand them a little bit more in detail. IBIT obviously had a plan there for a potential swing long. However, that gapped up on Monday, into a potential target zone, so there was no trade to be put on there. It sort of voided the plan as we never consolidated and broke above 40 as planned. We just gapped up above that level and have since sold off. Two other swing trades that I took on the week were in Oxy OXY. That was a long that I had, and I sold into 71 on Friday, as well as TPET, more of a small cap trade that I was long in the low 20s, and I sold into my target, which was 50 cents. Obviously, it had a parabolic move shortly after that, squeezed out some stubborn shorts, I believe. But this was another good one and will be on my watch list going forward. But these were really both part of a theme: rising oil prices and obviously tensions in the Middle East. So as we look ahead now going forward, it's crucial. Obviously, you need to acknowledge the current market conditions. And following the sell-off, the significant sell-off that we had on Friday across all sectors, I'm really approaching this week with quite a lot of caution. Right now I don't have any A-plus swing ideas. We could potentially see continuation to the downside, or we could see some digestion and consolidation. Obviously, there's been breaking news over the weekend, with the war in the Middle East, and so you really have to be prepared for any scenario and stay updated on the evolving situation there. Many sectors have begun to pull back, whether it's the overall market, whether it's Qs on a higher time frame. Qs showed a little bit of strength and staying power on Friday compared to some other sectors. But this week, really, I'm going to be avoiding any long breakouts, and instead I'm focusing on individual names and some theme scenarios. So starting off with my ideas, sticking with Friday's actions, small cap oil stocks, which are heating up. There are a number of them: INDO, TPET, one that I was in last week, HUSA. There's a number of them, and they surged on Friday. Goes with the oil theme, goes with the what's happening in the Middle East. And after I got out of my position from TPET, more than doubled on Friday. Going forward, monitoring a handful of these names, looking for potential consolidation, further upside, potential squeeze, as fear rises with what's going on in the Middle East. But eventually, I will be looking for a swing short in these as well. But here's my specific plan. Let's start off with TPET, TPET. Let's go to a lower time frame, so a 5-minute time frame. So if it continues to consolidate above multi-day VWAP, looking at around 45.40 to 45 cent range in this zone that I've highlighted here. If we continue to consolidate, I could definitely see a liquidity trap or short squeeze scenario play out for a move over Friday's high, closer to 1, psychological hole number 1. If that had to happen, trading it on the 5-minute time frame, getting long on a breakout with a stop at the low of that breakout or low of day, depending on how it sets up. Alternatively, if we get a push into resistance, 60, 65 cents, we get a fail, we get confirmation of a lower high, a very clear fail, I'd be looking to get short versus the high of that move, looking for a move back down to 30 cents. And with INDO and HUSA, very similar. We'll look at INDO for this example. With INDO, two additional small cap oil names on Friday. They have a history of running on themes in the past. I believe it might have been 21 or 2022 if you look back. INDO specifically made an enormous move off of a theme. And so, if they show some signs of staying power and, with the broader theme developing, if that does develop, I would want to see this trap, maybe a push under 480, 460, a reclaim over 5, reclaim over the multi-day VWAP. That would get me interested for a full day, fairly aggressive, full day 1 to 2 day swing opportunity. For move first to Friday's high, after Friday's high, trailing my stop, trading it on a 5-minute time frame fairly conservatively, and trailing my stop to higher lows and taking off on significant intraday higher highs, as well as any major extensions from multi-day and intraday VWAP, locking in profits too. On the flip side, similar to TPET, if should any air come out of this, should the theme not develop, should there be advancements in the Middle East, things that don't bode well for these names, I'll definitely look for a push over 5, considerable, significant failure, short against the high of day for a multi-day swing, essentially back to 3s, back to where it's come from. And then some additional back burner ideas, things that I have some alerts set in. First one, NXPL. This one's from Friday. Really nice all-day fade. Great push pre-market, and then from there we got a steady sell-off. This one traded a significant amount of volume. It's got around 45 million shares traded, so significant volume, significant overhead resistance and supply should exist. So I'm looking for a push into the 2-day VWAP, but really starting at around 2 resistance into 230, so within this range that I've highlighted here. If we can get a push into that range, significant failure, would look for a swing back down to the low ones. And then something else that I'm watching after Friday's action with the developments going on over the weekend with Israel and Iran is obviously gold and silver on a higher time frame. This is an additional idea, something to be aware of. I don't have a trade planned, it's more reactive, but definitely want to keep an eye on it because gold has been leading in the past several weeks. You have gold, commodities, gold and silver, both with considerable bearish moves on Friday, engulfing candles on Friday. So we've had developments over the weekend with Israel and Iran. So let's see if we do get a push into the 2-day VWAP, along with any headlines and developments that happen from now until the market open. How do we act if we come into this 2-day VWAP in silver and gold? Do we fail? Do we consolidate? Do we gap up? Do we gap down? Just keeping an eye on that. I think that will definitely dictate other moves outside of just commodities in the market, and it will definitely be a good barometer of fear, of hedges, and of capital allocation. So it's just something I'm keeping an eye on in this area to see how we act around the 2-day VWAP after Friday's action. Let me know if there's anything else that's on your list. Let me know if there are any setups that you believe are high risk reward, high probability setups, swing setups right now in this market, or maybe if there's anything that I missed that should be on my watch list. Other than that, good luck for the upcoming week. Stay safe, good luck, and I will see you all next week.
So you're an active trader, not doing as well as you want, not doing as well as you deserve, and you just can't figure out why you can't become profitable no matter how hard you try. Well, let me show you why. This is your competition. The traders in this room. This room right here is full of elite traders, some of whom are making 7 and even 8 figures a year. In fact, our top guys have made nearly 20 million each in net trading profits in a single year. Let's head to my office so I can share more. So you're probably used to seeing videos of lavish trader lifestyles, trading gurus trading off of a laptop for an hour a day, heck, maybe even 15 minutes a day, and then them relaxing on some secluded beach for the rest of the day. Well, all I can tell you is that our traders train like pro athletes. They live and breathe the markets and are continually working on their trading skills. Because at our firm, that's what we found it really takes to make it in this game. I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder and managing partner of S&B Capital, one of the world's top proprietary trading firms located in Midtown Manhattan. And we're always looking for trading talent to hire and develop. And not just to trade in-house on our desk, but also to trade from their own home, entirely using our firm's capital. And we have numerous traders doing just that, allowing them to make upwards of 7 figures trading the firm's capital without risking their own money. But to even get a shot at something like that, you need to have the right training. That's why we're doing a new free online presentation in which we share how you can get an interview with SMB to become an in-house or remote trader, trading firm capital without risking yours and gaining access to all of our firm's coaching and resources. And the best part, you don't have to be a profitable trader yet. In fact, we prefer to mold profitable traders with our methods and our techniques. That's why we have just 3 simple criteria that can earn anyone an interview. We're looking for highly ambitious and determined traders who fit our culture first and foremost. So if you believe that could be you, sign up for the free 1-hour online presentation by clicking the link that's in your top right corner of your screen now.